I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark.
Hello and welcome back. Today we are going to be doing slow homemaking. I want to get things done. I have a list, but in last week's video I talked about how I really want to slow my mind down and just enjoy homemaking again. 2 years ago I started working on this and I've gone in fluctuations of it, like in being like very intentional about it and then also checking things off the box, going through the motions. And at both times things get done, they always do. But when I really do work on slow homemaking, I definitely enjoy my time and my days so much more. So that's what we're gonna do today. I want to get things cleaned up. My mom's been visiting and so she's actually about to be heading home. So we've been like putting things off and just doing the fun things that we want to do or getting the things done that we need to get done together. So I want to get the house in order. I also want to take down Christmas. Although I didn't feel the urge and overwhelm to get it taken down immediately, I am feeling like, okay, we are a couple weeks after Christmas now and I'm ready to put it away. And then in the coming weeks, I'll decorate with like everyday decor. Oh, I also wanted to make bread because my kids love my homemade bread. I used to make bread every single week and I really worked on perfecting a recipe from Great Harvest. I don't know if you are familiar with that, but we had it in Montana when I lived there growing up and I loved the honey whole wheat. It was my favorite bread ever. And so when we moved away, there was no Great Harvest close to us. And so I spent probably close to a year like tweaking and perfecting my recipe to what I think mimics their honey whole wheat very perfectly. So anyway, I have shared that recipe, but I'm gonna go ahead and make it up today and I'll share it again. I have my little list with me. I always need to tackle some laundry. I also wanna see if I can meal plan for the week because I just haven't this week. So, and that was one of my goals for the new year, which if you haven't seen last week's video, I'm gonna link it up here because I went through and I just really prepped myself and everything for the new year. I did a vision board and it just made me feel like excited for 2026. 2025 drained me, and so I'm like 2026. Someone in the comments last week said basically like don't jinx it, don't dare 2026 to like show up 2025. With that being said, I'm doing everything in my power to make it be a good year. So anyway, very chatty today apparently, but I'm gonna go ahead. I'm not gonna actually clean down here just because I want to get upstairs and get that area reset as well. But I do want to like clear off my island so that I can go ahead and get the bread starting to proof.
Go ahead and shine, darling, go ahead and shine.
Okay, I used to have this recipe completely memorized because I made it so often, but I just don't make it all the time anymore. You want to get whole wheat flour, and then you do not have to have a mixer, but if you do, it's gonna make your life easier because then you don't have to knead your dough at all. It does the work for you. You need 4 cups plus dusting amount of whole wheat flour. You're gonna need 1.5 tablespoons of yeast. I just get whatever yeast. This is active dry yeast. You will also need 1/2 cup of honey. This is just local honey. Then you're going to need 2 cups of warm water and then 1/2 cup of oats. The oats is an add-in and it's actually not, I don't think, what they originally added into their whole wheat flour or whole wheat bread. I really like the addition of oats. So you're gonna add in 1/2 cup of oats if you want. And I'm actually gonna make a double batch of this. I'm gonna make one for us, then give some to a friend. Okay, so we're gonna add in 1.5 tablespoons of yeast per loaf. And then you want warm water, so not hot water, but we're going to add in 2 cups of warm water per loaf. And then you're just gonna let this sit for about 10 minutes until it gets really bubbly and kind of fragrant, like that yeasty smell. We're gonna add in our honey now. And the reason you wanna add in your honey is so that the yeast has something to start eating, and that's what's gonna help it bubble up. Okay, so this has been sitting about 10 minutes. You can see it's nice and bubbly now. So I'm gonna use my paddle attachment. Again, remember I'm doing a double batch, but I'm going to do 4 cups per loaf. So just put this on low and let it go. And you just want to slowly add this in. And then about halfway through, if you want to, you're going to add in your mix-in. So you want to do half a cup of your rolled oats. Again, I'm doing a whole cup because I am doing a double batch. And then at this time, I'll also add in my salt. And we'll finish adding the rest of our flour. And now you're just going to release your dough hook. You're gonna lock this down, and then we're going to let this go for about 4 minutes. I think I'm actually gonna break this into 2 balls and just do it 2 at a time because I don't have the big mixer piece.
One step forward and another back. I would never try to fool ya. I'm one heartbeat away from going mad. Girl, when you're looking like that. Closer, closer, I'ma get closer to you. Yeah, got me, baby, got me hooked on you once again.
And then I'm just gonna add this one in. This one is like much more, like it kind of bounces back a little bit more. It's a little bit more sticky. This one feels more tough.
Anyone knew I was on your bed when you undressed. Baby, when I pulled you in and felt your breath, then I knew the girl I need you. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it. Smiling like that, I could never resist it.
And we'll let this rise for about 2 hours until it's about doubled in size. Okay, there's nothing left to do with the bread for now. We're just gonna let this rise for roughly about 2 hours. It'll kind of depend on the warmth of your home, but we basically just want it to double in size. So since I'm doing a double batch, this will get pretty big, but there's nothing left to do except wait. So I'm gonna head upstairs, tidy up there, get that reset, and then we'll come down and start taking down Christmas.
I'm driving, you're smiling, just really doing nothing. That's the thing I like about you. On the highway, it's our way, Route 66, and we keep on driving. We just do what we wanna do. Yeah, no, nothing's complicated with you. Hey, playing songs on the radio, sing along to the words that we don't know how. Brings out the wild moves. Let's just run away. Yeah, I could drive the whole along. Being with you is like being on the rodeo highways. Brings out the wild moves. I got a little.
This was actually so fun and like satisfying to put together the jaws because as you saw, all the color just kind of floated softly into the water, but also I was very impressed with how it cleaned. I know I'm very late to the game. Everyone used to talk about jaws and rave how good they were. This is my first time using it, but I really did like it a lot. And it was that much more amazing because it came from a very sweet subscriber. It just meant a lot. This was something actually that I got around when I first moved in, and then I put it in a very safe place and I misplaced it and I found it as I was going through some stuff. And I want to say thank you so much for anyone who has sent me anything. It really just means more than you know. But I also wanted to mention I have gotten lots of happy mail and cards at my PO box, but it did recently close because it was not in my name. And so I am going to be getting that updated into a new one. And once that happens, I will definitely share with you guys the new address. It feels so much better in here already. I feel like a lot of days I'm pretty good about like tidying the space and kind of putting things away, but I'm not the best about coming in here with products and like actually cleaning it all. That always feels so good when I do. But we're gonna step into my bedroom, get that reset, and then we'll head back downstairs. I want to take down Christmas and things like that. But last week I shared a whole like New Year prep video, and oh, you can barely see the end of it in my little vision board. It was really fun. fun. It was like a fun vloggy video. I just loved it. But one thing that keeps coming to mind this year is to continue working on self-care. I have been the worst about self-care for most of my life. Last year, I really was urged by my therapist to work on self-care, and it has made such a big difference in my life. I really notice when I'm doing it, and on the other side, I really notice when I'm not. But I also have to be realistic about it. Like, I don't have time to do like these huge long steps and this huge long routine and process and everything. But one thing that I started doing years ago is I started wearing earrings because it's quick, simple, and it made me feel much more put together. And so this year, something that I'm wanting to do is actually start doing my lips. If you followed me for years, I'm sure you've only seen me do my lips like a handful of times, and it's probably been within the last year because it was actually something that was kind of complained about, and so I just never ever did my lips. But it's something that I've been kind of loving to do very recently because it just, I don't know, it made me feel more put together. And again, it's like a one-step process. So as I'm kind of sharing that, I would actually urge you to find one small thing that you can do every day that makes you feel more put together, and you'll be surprised. So maybe it's earrings, maybe it's lips, maybe it's something else, maybe it's just like putting lotion on your hands every morning. It can be something small, but you'll be surprised at the impact that it has on your life. And that actually leads perfectly into the sponsor of today's video, which is City Beauty. I am so excited to team up with them today because one of my best friends has actually been raving about them for years and years and years, and they've actually become one of my simple routines, my lip routine this year. I don't know if you've noticed, but my lips have been looking a lot better. I definitely have. I have insanely dry lips all the time. This is their nightly lip oil, and I have been using this almost every single night, but it hydrates your lips so much. I also started using their line therapy, and it helps with like the fine lines and all that kind of stuff. And this is actually not for your lips, but for your lids. And I was literally looking at my eyes maybe 2 months ago. My eyelids are kind of droopy. You literally just do a few dots up here and then softly rub it in, and you will start to see a difference. I love this stuff. These right here are the City Lips, and they are plumping lip gloss. They come in a bunch of different colors, but I have the clear, San Diego, pink nude, and Tinseltown. I've been loving adding these into my routine because they've made my lips feel so much more hydrated and healthier. Now I'll show you the texture right here when I put it on, and it just gives your lips that smooth, polished look that instantly makes you look and feel more put together. Now I also love that because City Beauty is backed by science, it does make everything look better immediately, but they also deliver long-term benefits over time. I will link everything down below, so if you want to try out City Beauty for yourself, you can use my code. I'll put it up on the screen right here along with the QR code, and you can save 20% on your entire order. And thank you again to City Beauty for teaming up with me in today's video. Let's get back to our relaxing but productive slow homemaking day.
I was facing all the sunlight while our feet swung freely from the bridge. The bridge. You asked if I'd save you, if you were crazy enough to take a swim, a swim. I try to make you see that my shoulder is ready for you to lean on. So why, oh why do you still flee when you know that you are the one? I can tell that you've been through some kind of heartbreak. All I ever been with you is faithful like a blind girl's dog. Every time I give you love, you still look so doubtful. I'm faithful like a blind girl's dog.
Since this is slow homemaking, comment down below what is one thing that you're going to try to do to help kind of slow down your mind as you're caring for your home. Now, one thing that I actually have been loving to do is just lighting a candle or setting up a simmer pot before I start my chores, and then I actually will just sit down and kind of remind myself that nothing is so serious, and it helps me just slow down and find joy trust me, this really does help, just like actually saying those things to yourself. And the cool thing is with slow homemaking, it's not like you're walking around actually slowly. You're working at a regular pace, but your mind is just slower. It's not feeling rushed and stressed. Honestly, it really does just make the biggest difference. You can actually enjoy your tasks while you're still getting everything done. And then also, I wanted to mention, I finally got a second set of sheets. I was so bummed when I first moved in. I was like, oh my gosh, I left all of my good sheets at the old house. But it's okay. Anything new means it doesn't have old memories, so it's probably best in the end anyway, but I am thankful to have a new set of cotton sheets.
Too many disputes with you. Once and for all, just tell me how I can set you free. I need to know. I can tell that you've been through some kind of heartbreak. All I ever been with you is faithful like a blind girl. Every time I give you love, you still look so doubtful. I'm faithful like a blind girl's dog. I'm faithful like a blind girl's dog.
This, my friends, is my new journal that I got, and I have written in it twice now, which doesn't sound like a lot, but yay, because I really have not journaled much at all in my life, and it's just something that I'm trying to do this year. I think it's going to help a lot. But also, super side note, I have noticed that when I'm struggling, my nightstand is somewhere that really shows it, because I feel like it holds all of my many attempts to kind of lift myself up. So when my nightstand is like very chaos, that's what's going on in my mind as well. So I went ahead and cleared that one up.
Who will pick you up when you've lost everything?
Okay, we are going to get ready to start taking down Christmas. As I'm taking down Christmas, I'll be cleaning just a little bit here and there. I feel like the living room or the family room doesn't get like too messy. Mostly just like fixing up the pillows and the blankets and stuff. Actually, I want to share this. So my mom got this for me for Christmas, and it's become like my favorite blanket. It's cool because it's 100% cotton. It almost feels like a weighted blanket, but not. Like, it's not a heavy blanket, like a heavy weighted blanket, but if you lay with it, it just like, I don't know if you can kind of see, like there is some weight to it. Anyway, I'm needing to clear it off the couch, and it was right here, but I just wanted to show you. It's so pretty. It's super nice quality, and it's just like my favorite, especially while it's really cold out. I know it's not that cold here in Arizona, but it's pretty chilly today, so it's making me want to just like bundle up. But I'm gonna tidy up in here, get the tree undecorated, and get everything kind of pulled down. It'll feel pretty bare for a bit, but then probably next week I'll go through and like redecorate a little bit and bring some life back into this space.
With a wedding ring. Oh, there must be more. There must be another way. There must be conscience. Different things in different ways. There must be love. There must be a reason, and a little bit of faith has got to come my way. I was just a little girl when my mama used to say,
This is random, but I got some more of these. I've gotten them for years, but I got some for some specific plants that I have. They are like watering globes. They were like $4 each, and they are plastic. So I've always kind of been nervous to get the glass ones because I don't want them to break and have shards of glass all over the plants and all over the floor. And so anyway, I just really like these ones. I think they're so cool, and they are just pretty and clear, so you don't really notice them, but it really helps with keeping your plants alive.
oh, and if that someone makes you
So these are my 2 Christmas bins, and then I do have a bin for like garland, which I can definitely downsize. So I kind of kept my stuff, and these are actually my willow trees, they're empty boxes, but I kept everything because I just wasn't sure like how it was gonna go this year. And I think I just am a person that likes to decorate like the main areas, and I don't really go into like bedrooms other than the kids have their trees, so like all this other stuff just doesn't get used. And the house is a lot smaller than my old house, which is so nice, so I just don't need all of this. So I'm gonna probably see if some of my sisters want some of it. I have a box for decluttering, and I'm just looking over like the shelves, and I'm thinking I'm probably gonna keep everything on the shelves, so it'll just be in here. Now, there are some things that I really like I actually thrifted this, it's still new with tags though. In this home, I've kind of figured out like places that I have to decorate and places that I don't, and this is just too large for my shelves. I don't really hang up a lot of like wall decor. It's something that unfortunately I don't think I'll end up using, so I'm gonna be real with myself and let it go and let someone else get use out of it. This again, I've used this for years and years and years. I got it from Hobby Lobby a long time ago. It's just like too large scaled for this house, so I'm gonna let it go. Now these ones I didn't use this year, but I do really like them and they don't take up a lot of space, so I think I'll keep these. And that's kind of gonna be like my mindset as I'm going through and decluttering things, is like, do I really want it? Am I actually gonna use it? How much space does it take? And so on.
I give it all to you for too
Alrighty, let me know in the comments, have you taken down your Christmas already? I feel like probably at this point most everyone has. I'm probably one of the last, but this year I definitely didn't rush it and I kind of enjoyed it while it was still up. But I will say I am very much looking forward to decorating this coming week, so stay tuned for that next Monday, because I'm planning on decorating not for like any season, but just in general decorating. So I'll share some little tricks and tips of decorating, and you'll see everything kind of come together again, which every time I do that, I feel like so grateful that just my boys and I are in this home and it's given us so much more peace.
have got to come my way. Have got to come my way. You said that you needed me like a cargo, you will carry me. I just hope you know my depth, even though it makes no sense. Sometimes I'm broken, too much of emotions. Sometimes I'm the lightning, don't wanna pick a fight with. Everything seems so good, I guess I can't help myself.
Right, as you're packing up your stuff, I really like to use the things that I'm already decorating with as like buffers. So instead of wrapping and using up a bunch of paper, I'll use this to kind of protect the things while we're storing them. Or I'll use a blanket or towels, things like that, like Christmas towels, things like that.
I'm calling up 'cause I'm right under the stars. What you wrote on me, leaving this mark. But baby, I'm the one who's breaking hearts, one who's breaking
gonna pause on all of that because our bread is ready. It's definitely doubled in size. So what we're gonna do is actually cut this in half because like I said, I did a double loaf. And so into our 2 loaf pans, I'm just gonna spray my oil. Sometimes I would add just a little sprinkle of flour, but that's optional. And then from here, you're just going to form this into a loaf shape. It's not perfect. That's kind of like part of the charm of homemade bread, plus it's just delicious, so who really cares? And let these rise for probably 30 to 40 minutes, and then we'll bake them in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. All right, it's a new day. So my mom and I ended up just hanging out the rest of the evening. The bread was good. She ended up taking it actually home with her. Yesterday, I dropped her off at the airport. I'm sad to see her go, but it's gonna be good for her to get back home and I can just get back into my routines and all the things. Fun little story. I went to therapy yesterday. I'm like, I always feel better after I go. I walked in, she was like, oh my gosh, you're glowing. And funny thing, because I've been kind of up and down just depending on whatever's going on. I was like, I think my lipstick is just fooling you a little bit because I've been up and down. But anyway, so it has been good. We're gonna go ahead, get this cleaned up, and then we'll see. I actually have to go pick up the kids pretty soon, so we'll see if I end up getting to the tree now or if I do that later with the kids once they're home. But either way, I want to get this kitchen in working order because it is a mess. And I also want to open the windows because it's been like so windy. And you know when you have like real windy days, it just feels, I don't know, for me, I just love it. I feel like it just like pushes energy into the house. So open up some windows and get that going, and we'll clean up a little bit together. I also got a new fruit basket because one, I thought this would be perfect for springtime. It kind of looks like a flower to me, like it's blooming, but also it's just a lot bigger, and like the amount of fruit that we have, I feel like it's always overflowing.
You know that I'm the queen of overthinking. It's like we're done before we even started. So if this is the end now, baby, know that I gave it my all. I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you believe in us. Please don't give up on me. At least give me a try. 'Cause you're the best thing, the best thing. You're the best thing that I've ever had. You're the best thing, the best thing. You're the best thing. 'Cause you're the As I'm walking to your place, I'm shaking. I am picturing the words in my mind. I cannot stand losing you. No, I will fight. 'Cause I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. Hope you believe in us. Please don't give up on me. At least give me a try.
A quick little simmer pot, really only because I cleaned out the fridge yesterday and I found some sad citrus fruit in the very back that I did not remember that I had, and it had gone bad. And then I also have an apple that's kind of on its last legs. So I'm just gonna slice it up and have something very fresh and bright. It's most ideal to eat your fruit, but when it starts to go bad like this, at least you don't have to fully waste it. You can still get some use out of it.
It's like you almost know what I am thinking. 'Cause I believe in us. I won't give up on you. I will be holding on for life. 'Cause you're the best thing, best thing. You're the best thing that I've ever had. You're the best thing, the best thing. You're the best thing. 'Cause you're the best thing that I've ever had. Best thing, best thing, best thing.
Okay, so I wanted to chat for just a minute because I have been seeing some messages and comments asking if I'm going to be sharing another life update soon, and I just want to say I really always appreciate your support, and I probably will share more eventually, just not quite yet. Right now, I really feel like if I start talking about everything, I just don't even think I would be able to get through it all and kind of hold it together. So I am going to give myself a little bit of space on that. But what I can say is that I have officially filed for a court date, and we're waiting on the courts to set it. And once that happens, we'll finally be able to finish this divorce, and I'm really looking forward to having it finalized one way or another. It has been almost a year since I filed for divorce, and while the legal process isn't finished yet, our lives have already moved forward in very real ways. There's someone else staying there now, and I am just ready for the legal side to be finalized so I can just fully move forward too.
Two heavy hearts is not a lie. I will put out all of the fire. We stumble and fall, and it's not a lie that I die. I can't hide from this thing. Yeah, I keep drowning in those blue eyes, and you can tell me all of your lies. I will put out all of the fire if it gets too dark. I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I'll be your light. Be your light. I'll be your light. If it gets too dark, I am running for you. I am running for you. I am running for you. If it gets too dark, be your light. Be your light.
One of my friends got this for me for Christmas. So pretty, so I need to hang it up. And I thought I want to hang it up here because the curtains like never go up here, and I don't actually close this window usually. And so it'll just be like a pretty sun catcher, and I'll never be bothered. All right, you guys, I have to say, I am actually really looking forward to spring, and I'm holding hope that 2026 will be better, but I'm actually really more holding on to 2026 will be the year that we make it. So like I shared, last week I did a vision board, and that was so motivating to me. I feel like everybody is doing a vision board, so I don't want to chat about it so much, but truly, if you haven't done one, I would really suggest trying it out. It just made a bigger difference than I thought I was going to. But I also just want to say that I think sometimes we really have to look for and focus on the positives, because there is always going to be a negative something going on in our life, something that we're struggling with, but at the same time, there is also always going to be a positive and something to be thankful for. And so I think that if we're looking for those positives, it will help us see more of those and also just kind of create more of those positives in our lives. So that's kind of where I'm at on that. And I'm really trying to focus on that too. And slow homemaking is definitely a little piece of that as well, because homemaking is a big part of my life. And so I want to make it as enjoyable as possible. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you end up making that bread that I shared earlier, let me know in the comments what you think. I love that bread so much. It's so delicious. Anyway, I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your day. Make sure that you're subscribed if you are not already, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.